In the dark. Yeah, guess it's not that dark. Who will be first? There we go. And... oh, it's always Diane. Nope, you were second, Michael. Almost. Almost, Audra. Yeah, I actually, you guys probably don't know this, but I mean, I follow politics. I used to follow politics a lot more than I do now. I've sort of given up on it a little bit, but I still follow it, you know? Like, I follow it all the time, I just don't put as much emphasis in my life in it. I used to just be like, oh my god, and just get so upset about every little thing, and just... But I thought I'd bring up a couple of things that made me sad. You know, you guys watched Anthony Bourdain, right, on that show. What the hell was the name of that thing? It was called God, I had it in my head just a minute ago. I used to watch Parts Unknown. Parts Unknown. I mean, I watched like every single episode. I don't agree with his overall political view, but I always liked him. You know, he wasn't overboard with it or anything. And I watched a lot of the episodes. I remember an episode where it's like the classic one. Everybody should go see the episode where he actually he's in Italy. And, you know, he goes around all these great chefs, and I guess he was a chef at one time, wrote a book, and then he started doing these shows here. But he was in Italy, and they were out in the bay looking for... they were going to catch some live octopus, you know. But he was a little bit skeptical. He was like, wow, there's so many people around here. Hey, Strawberry. Wow, there's so many people out here. Swimming around in boats. So he's down there scuba diving, or maybe it was snorkeling, I can't remember. But he's down below, and they're looking for octopus. And all of a sudden, he hears these splashing sounds above. And the guy on the boat was just throwing... already caught and dead octopus. You can probably hear my dog shaking back there, but into the water, right? And he was just in the water, and he was watching these octopus float down, and it was just so... he was so disheartened by it. Like, he literally... the whole episode was basically him lamenting that moment where the captain tried to trick him by throwing in dead octopus, and then at the end he's like, the guy's pounding it against the rocks, trying to tenderize it and shit, and it just sort of ruined the whole thing for him, you know? So it's sort of a downer episode, but it's kind of funny too, because the way he acts and treats it. Yeah. He was great. Now, supposedly there's a rumor out there right now that the girl that he's been dating since 2017, she's one of the Harvey Weinstein women that came forward. But apparently, you know, some photographer filmed her just recently with some other guy in France. And then after he killed himself, the photographer removed those images from the internet. So I don't know if it was due to that or not, but could be. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was a... Well, basically, there's no boring episode that he was ever on, you know, when you watch those. I particularly like the ones when he was in Vietnam, because he seemed like he had been, you know, he'd been there before, and he actually remembered people, and he'd go back and, you know, be visiting these people that he knew from a long time ago. And he'd eat these. It always seemed like, I don't know how he seemed to not gain weight though. I mean, this sucker would eat. I mean, my God, he'd eat something and go eat another one and eat. You know, but maybe we're only seeing when he's eating. You know, maybe he's not eating the rest of the time. Yeah. So I hope he didn't kill himself over. I mean, he left an 11-year-old. See, that's one thing I don't like. I get when people are depressed and down, but listen, you're hurting people when you take your life. Okay. I mean, you had he has an 11-year-old child who now has to grow up without her father. I think it's selfish, okay? I don't mean to, but I think when people do that, yes, they're down and out, but figure out a way to get out of it, okay? I mean, there's plenty of people who cared about Anthony Bourdain. He wasn't, you know, so, I don't know, leaving an 11-year-old child behind seems a little nutty to me. Not good. Yeah, sometimes they think it's the only way out, but it's not, you know? And that's the whole thing. It's... A lot of times they don't really think about how other people would feel. That's the problem. I mean, I understand, you know, being depressed and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I mean, I think every person who's been in a relationship that they care about the person and then it ends, you're kind of down unless you're the one. I mean, if you're not the one, like if you weren't the one that broke up with the person, you're probably really down. Most of the time when somebody breaks up, they're usually already interested in somebody else and they're excited to move on, right? But the one that got left behind with nobody, they're the one that feels depressed and down. Yeah, well, if somebody said he wasn't depressed, that means they're probably looking. I don't know what he was. I know he used to do drugs and so forth, so I don't know if he started doing drugs again. You know, maybe he just had a moment. It's just so crazy to me. This guy, you know, he's the last person that I would think would kill himself, literally. So I mean, I will keep my, you know, the possibilities open on this one because I've seen him so many times. However, you know, that's just me seeing him on TV and I have no clue what's going on inside his head. But it was just really bothered me. I mean, it sucks too, not knowing that there's going to be no more new episodes, and there's really nobody that can do what he did. You know, the way he did it. He was unique. Sucks. Anyways, that makes me down. Alright, and then there's also another thing that I wanted to bring up. And that is, if you're into politics at all, and you happen to be on the side, you know, more of a conservative type Republican, like me, you might actually, I mean, you would have known, you would have seen and heard about Charles Krauthammer. You know, he's absolutely, he's a genius. He's got a crazy life story, but he, about, I don't know, it seems like almost a year ago now, he was always on with Brett Baer, Special Report, and he was always on there. And then he went and got some routine surgery, but he's been paralyzed from, I think, partially paralyzed in his arms, but he, you know, he can't really use them. And then he's been paralyzed his whole life, basically. I mean, not his whole life, but when he was in college, he was actually reading a book about the, I think, the central nervous system, or the spinal cord, I think is what he was talking about. And he was at a pool, and he dove in head first, and it was shallow, and he broke his neck in the pool. And as soon as he hit the bottom of the pool, he knew that what he had done already. So his whole life, since he's been out of college, he's been basically in a wheelchair, and you know, can kind of move his arms barely, but not that great. So then he had some surgery done, and it's been a complication after complication. He came out of each one, and then right when he was about to maybe come back to television, it turns out that he had cancer. A cancer that he used to have came back. It wasn't there a month prior, and then it was all, you know, pretty aggressive when it came back, so they know it's an aggressive form. So he wrote a letter and put it out on Fox News. All right, so I'm going to read it what it said. Says, because this is June 8, 2018. I have been uncharacteristically silent these past 10 months. I had thought that silence would soon be coming to an end, meaning he would be back on the air, but I'm afraid I must tell you now that fate has decided on a different course for me. In August of last year, I underwent surgery to remove a cancerous tumor in my abdomen. That operation was thought to have been a success, but it caused a cascade of secondary complications, which I have been fighting in hospital ever since. It was a long and hard fight with many setbacks. I'll put it over here if you want me to do it. With many setbacks, but I was slowly overcoming each obstacle along the way, and gradually making my way back to health. However, recent tests have revealed that the cancer has returned. There was no sign of it as recently as a month ago, which means it is aggressive and spreading rapidly. My doctors tell me their best estimate is that I have only a few weeks left to live. This is the final verdict. My fight is over. I wish to thank my doctors and caregivers whose efforts have been magnificent. My dear friends who have given me a lifetime of memories and whose support has sustained me through these difficult months, and all of the partners at the Washington Post, Fox News, and Crown Publishing. Lastly, I thank my colleagues, my readers, and my viewers who have made my career possible and given consequence to my life's work. I believe that the pursuit of truth and right ideas through honest debate and rigorous argument is a noble undertaking. I am grateful to have played a small role in the conversations that have helped guide this extraordinary nation's destiny. I leave this life with no regrets. It was a wonderful life, full and complete with the great loves and great endeavors that make it worth living. I am sad to leave, but I leave with the knowledge that I lived the life that I intended. I mean, isn't that, it makes me sad actually reading that. That's one of the coolest goodbye letters I've ever seen. Anyways, Charles Krautheimer is one of the greatest Americans, in my opinion. You should go listen to go on YouTube and just watch some of his commentary. I mean, after 9/11, he was like a hero to me. I really didn't know much about him before that. You know, so for the past 18 years, I've followed him religiously. Whenever he was on Special Report, I mean, he's still alive, so I'm saying, what, you know, I think he knows he's not going to make it, right? I mean, every time he was on Special Report, it was so much better. Yeah, well, that's cool, Valerie. Yeah, I wish more people did. A lot of people probably in this chat probably don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. But Charles Krautheimer is a genius, and really, maybe I can actually find something that he said. Let's see. I'm just going to be randomly looking here. Let's see. I'm just going to try to find something that... Well, let's see. Maybe I can find something after 9/11. Just looking. Now let's just how he talks.
Ancestry DNA is only $69 for Father's Day, and with twice the detail of other tests, it can show Dad where he's from and strengthen the bond.
I've said consistently, we ought to have the Obamacare mandate on individuals. I am for the repeal of Obamacare, and I'm against any effort to impose a federal mandate on anyone.
Let me get to the Krautheimer. Here we go.
And he's done. He didn't have a big chance from the... This is a big deal. He's done. He didn't have a big chance from the beginning, but now it's over. Apart from being contradictory and incoherent, as we saw in those 2 bites you showed where he contradicted himself in the course of one day on the individual mandate, calling the Republican plan, which all but the 4 Republican members of the House have now endorsed and will be running on, calling it radical and right-wing social engineering is deadly. I mean, I think every one of these Republican candidates running for the House is going to have a Democratic opponent who's going to run an ad that you can write today. It's going to start. Even the conservative Newt Gingrich, the former leader of the Republicans in the House, says it's radical, it's social engineering. Reagan had the 11th commandment: thou shalt not attack fellow Republicans. This is a capital offense against the 11th commandment. He won't recover.
Yeah, so anyways, I mean, he just, every time he was on, it was just epic, you know, just bam, you know, you knew exactly what he was talking about. So that's what I have on that part. I was kind of down about it. Actually, after reading that right there, I was a little bit choked up. I'm glad I still wasn't on the air. Yeah, but Brett Baer and Charles Krautheimer wrote I think he says Krauthammer. They wrote a book together, I think, about Charles. And it's pretty crazy. His life, you know, unbelievable, actually. He has a son too. Well, anyways, I don't know. Does anybody want to maybe come up on here tonight? We could talk about anything, really. You can load up something, maybe some interesting story, as long as we all stay focused on that one. Yeah, I said that, Patricia, early on the show. He was reading a book about the spinal cord. It was actually on the deck, and he dove in and broke his neck. And when he floated to the bottom, he said he actually knew that he broke his neck as he was on the bottom of the pool. March 13th. Huh, that's weird. March 13th is the day my brother died in 1986. Synchronicity. Nah. Did you just send me one just now to Facebook Messenger? I don't have time to always keep looking around. Yeah, but I'm not really... Yeah, I saw that earlier. I didn't even know what you were talking about, but yeah. I did see that earlier, Stephanie, but I haven't really followed that case much. It's not really... It doesn't... I don't know. It's not one of the ones I've been following. Thanks, Sharon. Is that the one with the, well, what's the name of that? Just type it in there. I'll look it up again. Lucas Hernandez, right? Maybe I have, but I just don't remember it. Yeah, I've seen this, but I haven't really... Like, I saw a video. I think Lorden did one on this one. That's pretty weird, though, huh? That is stepmother... dies in apparent suicide. You know, these people are, you know, like I said...
Want smoother, more even skin?
Absolute cowards. I mean, this person did it because they didn't want to be busted. They don't feel bad about anything. They just don't want to have to deal with the people saying, oh my God, because they know what they did, you know?
Grace!
God, man. This thing has pop-ups everywhere. Yes, I know there's pop-up blockers. I don't like to use them because sometimes I need the pop-up. Are there recent interviews, CJM, of Ebby's stepmother or Ebby Stepik's mom? I don't even... What are you talking about? On account of rabies. I think you need to change that username. It just doesn't flow. It's not really funny or unique or anything like that. It's just kind of weird. Yeah. I think there really are flat earthers out there. There's these people that really think the earth is flat. I mean, they're just embarrassing people. You know? Prove it's not. Yeah, Jesus. Okay, see you later. See you later, rabies. Maybe get a different name and we can have a conversation. It's ludicrous. Yeah, see what I mean? But is it really, or is it really just a flat circle we're looking at when you're up in a plane? Yeah, see, they're just morons, okay? The people that actually believe the Earth is flat, if they really believe that, are actually just moronic people. Okay? Okay, that's cool on account of rabies. Good for you. All right? I don't know what you're doing. You show up and you ask a question, and then you don't answer why you asked the question, and then you get upset. Okay? Man, I sure hope you don't work for him. That'd suck for him. All right? So let's go do the... I'm just looking at this. You know, just don't be rude, okay? At least I come on and try to do a live video, and you're making comments, all right? That's good. If you work for Charlie Project Namus, that's great stuff, all right? Good for you. That is good. I go to that website often and try to find stuff. Somebody has to enter the stuff in. Sometimes there's missing people where they don't actually, nobody ever takes the time to put them there. Okay, good for you. On account of rabies. Is there a reason you have that username now? It's kind of weird. All of a sudden it got quiet. What's this one? Breaking news? Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Guardians of...
Is this a live press
Guardians of Innocence. And this is our second in this particular operation. And we often talk about child pornography, and quite frankly, I say, you know, we're arresting these people for child pornography, and that's what we're going to talk about today. However, it's very, very important for you to understand what child pornography really is, and I'm not so sure that we say that often enough. Certainly there are...
Understand what child pornography is.
So is this an hour and 31-minute long press conference? My God. Oh, they're putting Clinton in. Okay, I don't know. This seems like a political. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, well, it's an hour and 31 long video, and it doesn't seem like it's just a press conference. Seems like somebody added some stuff in there. Oh, yeah? Never heard of it. The feet rat keep watch. Oh, yeah. I did a story on that one, a video on that a while back. I haven't done any more updates on that. The feet washing to the shore. Hey, rabies, did you ever watch did you ever go to that one site called, I think this is a pretty good one, crimewatchers.net? They have missing people, missing from 2000 to present. And they put a bunch of the articles in there. It's pretty good stuff. What video was a kicking video? Oh, the song that she's talking about, or he, or I don't know what gender on account of rabies is. Oh yeah, that was kind of weird, wasn't it? Yeah, they're just randomly floating to the shore. I mean, there's so many feet floating around. Of course, I've been to a lake and I've never heard of any feet floating to the shores of that lake. Hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, if you, why don't you go check it out right now? Okay. Jesus. A forensic accountant in Seattle who volunteers to get missing listed. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hit the like button, and at the end, hit the unlike button if you want to. All right. And Rabies, you can hit that unlike button right now. Yeah, it's better than smoking crack. You're right. Seems like you've come in here, though, mainly just to sort of toot your own horn. You know, I'm just trying to have a conversation about stuff, and every single one of your comments is about how great you are, and wow, you're so wonderful. And if everybody could be just like you, you know, the world would just be a better place. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? So if you came in here acting like you wanted to actually help, that would be great, but that's not what you're doing. Oh, I'm a forensic accountant, and on the spare time, I enter things in NamUs. I'm so great. Oh, and by the way, I do that. Look at that's all you've done since you've been here. Okay, so if you want to help, just bring up some interesting stories. We can talk about it and try to figure things out. That'd be great. That's so mean. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Just go up and read your comments and see how they come across. Yeah, let's go back to the flat earthers, though. Look at this. Here's Google Earth, right? It rotates around. But you know what? It is a flat image on the screen. You see that? It is a flat image on the screen. This is flat. Okay? There is no, you know. It's so ridiculous. God damn. What island is that one? That's pretty big. Huh. Port of France. I never even actually... I've heard of that mentioned, but I didn't realize it was some big island. Interesting. I bet it gets just absolutely cold as hell. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Cold as a freezer. And you're so close to, hey, McDonald's Island. Do you think they actually have a McDonald's on this island? See, this is one of those people that has to say all the goodbyes and all that kind of stuff. Oh, everybody, I was so valuable. Yeah. Bye, Darrow. It was so great. The times we could have had we allowed me to tell everybody my NamUs skills. Look at everybody thinks it's great that somebody enters that stuff in the NamUs. It's awesome. If you volunteer to do stuff, you don't need to tell everybody that you do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. It means a lot more if you just do it. If I find somebody that's missing and they're not in a system somewhere, I'll let you know. Okay? Maybe you can enter them in. I mean, here's the thing, is I make videos because I have a different way of looking at things than other people. I don't pretend that I can go out and solve something. You know, I think that I can put something together and maybe it can help somebody solve something. But I don't have access to anything that will allow somebody, you know, to, like, I can't get to see the information that police actually have, the investigators, okay? But I can put things together, and that's why, you know, like I've said before, I mean, the couple times you know, when people say, oh, Gray, you don't have any professional skills. Yeah, I mean, I have done things for a couple cases, right? That's it. You know, I don't, but I don't claim that I have some certificate somewhere and that I'm better than everybody else. I just can present, and I look at a story, and I immediately pick up on a lot of different things. You know, like for example, the Timothy Cunningham case, right? The first night we're looking at it, and you see the press conference and how the person is talking, the press conference, and how he gave away a ton of hints in that thing. It was pretty obvious too. And then you take that with what the parents, how they were talking, and you immediately, it paints a picture, you know. And I think it's valuable to be able to do that. I mean, I know a lot of you can do that. I can just actually put it on the screen to show people. That's the difference. Okay. I do think people that enter things into NamUs and help out the missing persons cases, it's great to do that. That's the first person that I've ever seen that mentions it over and over, like 10 times in a chat. You know, maybe they're particularly proud of it. They should be. It's just came across weird to me. So I apologize if that offended anybody. I don't know why I keep looking at the United States. Yeah, that Hugh Mongus D guy, he made another video that has me in it. He actually brings up the Jodi Arias case with the eye reflection. You know, I mean, it was interesting testimony at the time, but he's talking about, see, you do have to zoom in. You do have to zoom in. Yeah, that's because it was an HD image, and he was able to get in there, you know, and he had some software that he could do stuff with, but you can't do that on the Crown Plaza footage. Okay, it's 640 by 480. If you zoom in, you're looking at pixels at that point. Yeah, I'm not famous at all. Jesus. Oh, yeah? Well, that's great, Sharon. They made it. A lot of times people, if they're in a family that has breast cancer like that, they'll actually just do like I don't know what you call it, a mastectomy. Just to be preventative. I don't think I actually ever really kind of paid attention to actually where Bermuda was. Man, that's just so out in the middle of nowhere too, man. How many miles is that? Jeez. Almost 630 miles from the nearest point. Never seen this one either. You guys ever do the plate tectonic stuff? How you can see how everything fits together? See how that, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen this, but there's still people that don't know this. How this part right there fits right into there. And then this fits right there. Everything like this at one point was connected and they split apart. That's where you can really see it right there, is how South America fits right into Africa right there. See that? Yep, Pangea. I was about to throw that phrase out. And the plate tectonics right there, these right there, that's how it spreads out. So eventually, if it keeps going, when there's so many of them, it's hard to know what'll crash into what, but sometimes that's how you actually get mountain ranges, is the crashing of two continents. Yeah, who's that, Bridget? Here we go. I'll load it up. What is it? What's her name? Okay. When did she go missing? And there you go. Rabies should come back. You can add this one in. Although it's probably already in there. Yeah, I saw that up there. Is that Polish? No, so she is in the Charlie Project. Ah, crap. All right, there's the beginning right there. So let's see if there's a street view here. Oh my God, they actually have one. So this is where she was last seen, right? Well, that's cool. I don't really know her. I didn't understand what she was saying. It was weird. It's just everything came off like, I don't know. But anyways, let's quit talking about that. Alright, so that was April 25th, 2013. She had on a white jacket, a black and white shirt, gray stretch pants, and black shoes with a wide stack heel. So she was depressed though, right? And maybe in danger for herself. So she could have went somewhere and did something to herself, right? That always makes those hard because once you start throwing out she was depressed, severe depression, then you really start heavily weighing that to she took her own life somewhere. Yeah. Prokopovitz was last seen at her Prokopovitz, right? Hopefully I said that right that time. Was last seen at her residence in the 5100 block of Coonish Road in Pittsfield, Wisconsin at 10 p.m. on April 25th, 2013. She was discovered missing at 4 a.m. the next day. Let's see, medication disappeared with her, so she did have her medicine with her, but she left behind her purse. See, here we go. Identification and cellular phone, and she didn't have access to a vehicle. An extensive search of the area turned up no sign of her, and she has never been heard from again. So that's kind of weird, right? So when they went here, did they check everywhere around here? Did they go, like this looks like a pretty heavily wooded area right back in here. Did anybody check back here? This is a stream too. And she took the medication. Was it a certain kind of medication that if you took too much of it, it would cause problems? Or what are the effects of taking too much of that? Hello, Bridget. So when they checked the area, did they check this whole creek thing that's right here? Or this way? So this is going to be one of those side roads. It doesn't have any yet. Well, let's see. So what do you think? I mean, what does your family think about that, the whole thing? I mean, if she was severely depressed, doesn't it seem likely that she did something to herself? Or are there some mitigating factors on that? Where's the quarry? Man, my stomach just went. Yep. Do you know what she was... I mean, what made her depressed? I did eat. I think what the deal is I'm not really... I think I'm becoming, or I am lactose intolerant lately. I mean, it seems like the last few years. So if I eat anything that has milk in it, it creates issues. Yeah. What'd they get off of that, Bridget? Oh yeah? Give me some examples. You don't have... You can just start putting in the information. Alright? Just start typing in what you know, instead of me trying to figure out what you know. You actually probably just know a whole bunch of stuff, and then you can put it in there, and then I can weed through it. Well, what do you mean they believe child porn? I mean, if it's there, right? That's a weird, or who's they, I guess. Oh yeah, Don, does that work? Yeah, I think I became lactose intolerant when I had to take a bunch of antibiotics one time. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, Strawberry Rain. We are lactose intolerance buddies. Let's pound 2% milk together and see whose stomach starts gurgling first. Yeah, they make some good, what's that stuff? A coffee mixer. Okay, I'm just going to start going back to the story we're looking at. The police isn't saying much. They won't confirm rumors. She became depressed after the death of her son. Oh, man, that sucks. How did her son die, if you don't mind me asking? I never understood, like, when people kill themselves, a lot of times they do it somewhere where they aren't ever found. I don't understand that part. Why not just kill yourself where people can find you? There's no difference for you, right? You're not alive anymore. I mean, at least give some comfort to your loved ones who can say goodbye and put you, do what you need to, either cremated or buried or whatever, right? I don't really get that part. I'm reading what my producer is saying to me on the side. All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, really? Jeez. That's terrible. Oh, yeah. If they'd never found Timothy Cunningham's body, it doesn't even matter, to be honest with you. The fact that they said, we don't really know how he got in the water is enough to keep the conspiracy going forever. I mean, since that last video that I made, the one that basically lays out the whole thing, I've received probably 50 more comments on YouTube all saying, oh, I see what you're saying, but I still believe it was a murder, See, I never understand that kind of comment, Like I've said that before on my other videos, on the other case. You hear the ones that say, oh, yeah, no, great, I believe you. I got you, yep. Now listen, I don't think the video was edited. I don't think is there any video missing. I think every video that you've made is accurate. I still think she was murdered. And then I look at him, I mean, whenever I read that, I get so puzzled, and I say, well, what evidence, then, is there? And there's never an answer to that question. And the answer is, there isn't one. What are you apologizing for, Stephanie? Oh, maybe I'm getting confused who I'm reading here. Yep. It's amazing on YouTube how, if I don't agree with somebody, I mean, prior to becoming, sort of more of a YouTuber, I don't remember ever going to just some random video and just well, I don't know. There is a guy that has made some videos on YouTube about the Libyan Abbey case, and they're just disgusting videos. This crazy music's being played. It's almost like he's mocking their deaths, So I have gone straight there and said, you're an idiot. Your videos suck, things like that. Because I just feel like it, But the thing is my videos, like the one I just made, right? The one that shows the shots from above Zach TV. What would be hateful in that thing? I mean, it's literally just absolutely destroys any sort of drone notion. No, she was talking about what I was referring to. Yeah, you should. Well, the thing is, I'd have you go look at him, but I don't really want you to see his videos. You know, for example, I went on. Oh crap! Ooh, gotta move it out of the way so you don't even see it. But I went right on there and I said, "Another load of crap." Shake my head. See, that's the music he has playing when discussing the tragic death of Libby and Abby. And he's just showing these really stupid pictures of pixelated crap, you know? So that's actually the music from his video. I'm trying to read some of these comments. Yeah. Wow, there's some dark stuff up there in those comments. Boy. Is this right now? What do I have to accept? What am I accepting here? If I hit this button, I don't really want to do that. Oh, you sent me like a virus. Ah, hell, forget it. Jesus. What is this video right here? Ah, forget it. Jesus. Okay, this one? Alright.
They said everything is fine. And then it changed this morning. He came in,
wow.
He saw videos, and he realized
my sister lives on that. Her mom, my stepsister's biological mother, her house was destroyed by the lava.
For Will Okabe, who's the civil defense, the county administrator.
Wow, look at that.
We spoke to a short while ago.
Lava coming out of the ocean floor.
Me, I don't know how my home was standing for now, but the lava's coming, and it probably won't be standing for very long. This is what he had to share.
My wife's family had this beach home down in the beach lots area. It's a gated community. There's a lot of homes in there.
Yeah, I'll be back in a
second.
second.
Assessment as to how many homes.
As a civil defense director, it's like a flood, you know. It's just pouring out, covering everything in its path. Just incredible what it's doing.
Cada patio es diferente y The Home Depot tiene exactamente lo que tu patio necesita. No tienes que ser un experto, solo tienes que saber a dónde ir. Ahora, llévate grandes ahorros en estos productos Roundup. The Home Depot. Haz más, ahorrando.
Get super fast Wi-Fi.
Easy. Xfinity XFi.
How do I use it to bond with my daughter?
Easy. Reality TV.
Oh, wow. Now we're doing commercials.
Called it.
Shouldn't have left.
Called it.
Xfinity.
Ah, forget. Sorry about that. Arado is your muse. I can actually say that one. It rolls off a little better. Well, I would need more information to make a video about it. Oh yeah? Like, you want me to go there right now, or what? Oh. I don't know. I mean, is there a lot of information on here that's new that... Okay, another time. All right. When they last saw her there, what was she doing? Yeah, I know she did. Kate Spade. She made the handbags, I guess, or something for kids or whatever. I don't know exactly. I didn't buy them, so. Hey, this is a random thought here. It'll take like a 180-degree downward spiral, but it's something I always wondered about, you know. But you know, when like, you guys remember the Inquisition? They used to, or I think it was French Inquisition, where they beheaded all those people, like with the guillotines. See, what's weird about our brains is they live for 4 minutes without oxygen, right? Like, you can hold your breath, but I think the blood not going to it, you'd pass out quickly. But you sort of wonder, man, I mean, are you actually conscious for a little bit of that time? You know, maybe, let's say 5, 6. There was actually one person who was going to have, go in the guillotine, and he told them, listen, when my head gets chopped off, I want you to, what was it? Yeah, I'm going to count. And then when I quit, I mean, supposedly he was able to count to some number like 7 or 8 or something like that. You know, so the thing is man, it's wild, you know. So they actually quit killing people that way in France because they realized how barbaric it was. Except, you know, people like, you know, ISIS, boy, they love that kind of stuff. And it's weird too. Is it painful, you know? Because it's not like, I don't know, it's almost like it destroys every single one of your, like there's nothing left to, I don't know. It's just such, I hate the topic, but popped in my head a while back on this conversation on what somebody said about something about the car accident. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you'd feel like you had phantom limbs for a minute, just for like those 10 seconds. Yeah, it's crazy. I agree. Arato is your muse. And the thing is here's the thing, is I think that the news media should have shown the ISIS beheadings and the the drownings and the people being set on fire. They should have shown them all on the news and let everybody see it. Hey, it's municipal principalities. They should have let everybody see it so that they actually would realize what we are up against. Or, you know, it seems like it's kind of dying down, but what we were up against, right? Instead, it's like, you know, you see a little clip, oh yeah, and you go on to something else. I've actually seen the videos, you know, on different websites like Live Leak. You know, you see it, and then you harden your resolve on why these people need to be, you know, dealt with. If you haven't seen it, yeah. I don't, you know, the thing is, I don't really, you know, it's like, I don't want to say, hey, go see it. Because it's really disturbing, you know. Like they have this one where they have a metal crate, well, more of a cage, and they put something like, there was like 10 people in it. And they were holding it up in the air with a crane, and then they just lowered it into a pool, and then pulled it up like 15 minutes later. And they're all drowned, and they're all just kind of writhing, you know, kind of this weird gasping thing when they come out. But it's like, it was like a bunch of sociopaths, okay, doing this. Yeah, I saw the Saddam one. You know, the thing about when Saddam got hung, I actually had more respect for him. And what's funny now is, you know, the same sort of freaks that he was always holding down and keeping at bay are the ones that took over. You know, he actually was standing up there, and these little idiot people were like spitting on him and calling him all kinds of names, and he called them names back. He had guts, you know, and he went there and he got hung and he died, you know, but he didn't have any, he actually, I had more respect for him, the way he handled himself when he was about to be hung. He had courage. So you got to give him that. I'm not saying I liked Saddam. He was a barbarian dictator. I'm just trying to tell you that he didn't die like a wimp, like you'd think he might have, based on how they found him, huddled up in a little pothole. And see, there's a lot of stuff. It's interesting how it all kind of worked, because Saddam, he was a Sunni. He had his own, actually was called something like a Baath, something like Baathist or something. And then, but he propped up the Sunni minority, a really small, like literally like 10% of the population was Sunni. So he propped them up, and all of the Shiites, we went over this one time, but all the Shiites were the lower, treated like garbage. You know, so all the Sunnis were kicking ass, right? And then the Sunnis at that time were then friends with the Egyptians and all their neighbors, because those are the Sunnis. But the majority were the Shiites. So then when we went in and took out Saddam, the Shiites voted and they became Shiites. Now they're not friends anymore with Egypt and all the countries around. So it disrupted the entire balance of power. And I wouldn't say that it was a good thing, the way it worked. It's almost like people like Saddam and Gaddafi and those other leaders they almost sort of were needed, because there's so many barbarians. They kept it. I mean, there was no suicide bombings or anything when they were dictators, right? It's kind of weird. It's but here's the thing: is prior to them becoming in power, those countries didn't have bombings either. They were just really peaceful, and just like the United States, you know, you had hippies and people smoked, and it was, you know, it was whatever. It was totally different. But as soon as they took over, it destroyed what it was. Like the radicals took over. Or, well, basically, I don't know what you consider Saddam. I don't know if he was a radical anything. He was just a brutal dictator. He wasn't a religious person. Yeah, well, Sharia law is basically like the Sunni Muslims, like a really hardcore, strict adherence to the Quran, or the teachings of it. I'm not saying all that stuff's in the Quran, but it's like there's these certain laws, like there was one. It's really, it's really generous to the females. It was if a woman gets raped, she has to have like, I think, 2 witnesses to say that she was raped, or it doesn't matter, something like that. And then there was also, if a woman cheats on or has like premarital sex or cheats on a man or whatever, they get stoned to death. Yeah, 3-1. Okay, they get stoned to death, and the woman, she gets buried in the ground. So before the stoning begins, they have rules on the size of the stone too. It can't be too large that it will kill with the first strike, but it can't be too small to not cause any injury. So what they do is they bury the women in the ground they wrap them in a sheet, and then they bury, and the man gets wrapped in a sheet, but they are put into holes in the ground. But there is a difference there. The women get buried all the way to their neck, and the man, he gets buried to his waist. And if you can somehow squirm out while the rocks are being thrown, you're set free. And you can kind of see how this plays out, right? The women never make it out. Oh, is it 4? I thought that something like that in my head when I was first thinking of it, because it's been so long. Like I said, that sort of, for me, is sort of political, Like, I used to know all that stuff a couple of years ago. Yeah, have you ever heard that story that happened? It's been on IDTV before, but there was these 2 sisters in the U.S., and they were from, maybe it was Pakistan, I think, and their father was a cab driver, and they both liked American boys. And then one day he put them in the taxi cab, and he killed both of them with a gun, and then he took off and went back to Pakistan, and he hasn't been caught yet. No, they didn't run away. Well, they might have at one time, but at the end they... Let's see. Okay, there it is. Yasser Saeed. Right there, right? This guy right here looks like Saddam's half-brother. Okay. I guess he's Egyptian, not Pakistan. And Egypt is Sunni, and therefore more strictly Sharia-oriented. And these are the daughters right here. And they're pretty, both of them. Both of these daughters right here, they were becoming Americanized, and the father just didn't like it. And he was in a cab. The worst part about it is there's actually a 911. I'll do this. There's a 911 call of this. I'll go get it for you guys, because that's what we do. Let's see. Yasser. No. Okay, here we go. This is the... So right when the dad was shooting them, this is what she did, okay? Let me turn down this music.
on, ma'am?
I'm dying, that's what's up.
Irving Fire Department. Ma'am, are you still there? Ma'am, are you still there? All I've got is she's telling me she's dying. I've got a, why are you still there, ma'am? Ma'am, what is your address? Ma'am.
A cab in our cab stand. It doesn't appear that there's a driver, but there are two people inside the cab, one in the passenger seat and one in the rear of the vehicle. One of the people in the passenger seat looks like she's hunched over, and she has blood coming from her ear. It doesn't look like they're alive to me.
I understand that. We've got an...
Yeah. Yep. It's a really crappy story, actually, when you go through the whole thing. It's terrible. That's right, like he had a... One of them had a boyfriend, and... Ah, forget it.
See how...
It's just a terrible story. But anyways... Yeah, there's a bunch of stories like that, actually. Like a mother killed, they stabbed her daughter a whole bunch of times because she wanted to marry somebody else other than the one that they were going to set her up with. And that was in America, too. Listen, barbarians, if that's what you want to do, go stay where you were before, okay? Because that's not what we do over here. All right? Now, if you want to come here and assimilate to those kinds of things... That's great. Thanks. We don't want that. I mean, the thing is here's the deal. The United States has laws and everything. And sometimes there's cultures that are so they're so opposite. And if they aren't willing to accept the culture that they're moving to, then maybe they shouldn't come. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of, what are you doing? You're going somewhere that, like, I can't go to a country, for example, I couldn't go to Egypt and say, okay, and open up a strip joint and, do whatever the hell I want. Okay? I just wouldn't go there, right? So I'm trying to figure out, there's got to be a point where people... If they're going to come to the United States, they need to accept the laws and cultures of the United States. But you can have your own culture, sure, right? You know what I mean? But it's... I don't know. It's how I get so... I have a hard time trying to wrap my head around it. I think sometimes we're so politically correct, we're sort of... We start accepting things that we really shouldn't be. Okay? Oh, you remember that one, Sharon? The one where the... No, you're talking about this case with the two girls here. Right, that's right. That's a better way to word it, Errado. I couldn't think of that. Yeah, here's something I always hate too, like when you have a lot of, like, I guess people from Mexico that come over, and then when the United States plays Mexico in soccer, they never root for the United States. But you came here, right? You thought you were going to try to make the United States be your new country, but instead you're rooting for where you came from. I mean, I don't know if that's that crazy, but it sort of bothers me a little bit. Well, why don't you be a little bit more patriotic? You come here and bam, root for the United States. That's where you live now. Right. Well, there must be some forms of it that don't teach that, though, Diane. It's not just, oh, there's a few people. It's a whole huge, massive sort of sect that doesn't treat women very well. Oh, we treat women great as long as they cover their faces and they don't drive cars and they don't do anything else in life. We think they're great. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, is that just a crappy interpretation, or is it really what it... Because I've actually read some of what's in there, and it says a lot of that stuff, you know. It's not just, you know. Yeah, so that's why, I mean, I don't really know if it's that weird. I guess it's just... I don't know. God. If you want to move to a country, and then you start, wouldn't you want to, if you wanted to go there so badly, wouldn't you just love it because of the new opportunities? And you must not like the one that you came from because you're actually going into another one on purpose, like fleeing your other country. So you'd think, yeah, here's what you think. Like when Saddam was ruling Iraq, right? And we took in Iraqi immigrants and they lived here. If they started rooting, like the United States then played Iraq in a soccer game and they were rooting for Iraq, I'd feel offended by it. Like, wow, we just rescued you from that country. Now you're rooting for that country to beat the one that you're in now. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know a different way to word that. Yes, and that's another thing too. When you come here, learn English. Okay, you know, take classes, try to be able to communicate. That's a huge deal too. It'll get you ahead as well. You know. See, I believe in stuff like that. I know that just makes me so horrible. Oh. Yeah, that's not a really good comparison, Don. Yeah. Right. A municipal. Never really tell what you're doing, what you're saying. Never really makes sense. Right. I mean, you can never really integrate if you can't speak English, right? You're always going to be sort of forced to be in the community with the people that only can speak, or that can speak the language that you can only speak. That's the problem. Yeah, that didn't make any sense there. Did you have your fingers in the wrong spot on the keyboard there, municipal? Oh. It's almost like the Gregorian chants, you know. Yeah. So you always say, huh? Wait, so huh? Like, what does that mean? It's just ridiculous. And then you'll say, oh, Gray, you're so mean to me when I come on. Well, how about you say something that's meaningful? Yeah, here's what I mean right here. What does this mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Who knows? I don't think it says through. There's no R in there. I think it means peace be good, though, people. I don't know why though would need to be in there. How about just peace be good, people? Like, peace out. Be good, people. See you later. That would make sense. But though? What does that have to do with anything? I don't even know if I can, Miss Rainey. I don't even know if that's possible. PCEBGD, though, people. Yeah. She said, I know, I was heard her say though. Doesn't make sense. Though. Peace be good, though, people. Yeah, we are good. That's what we're talking about. You know, I'm all for anybody coming here. Just try to integrate and assimilate into society. Don't try to, well, no, I'm here now, so I'm going to use your laws against you. Forget it, okay? I'm a Gunan Desuka. Don't even know what that means. We are Borg. Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like, you know, in Germany, for example, Angela Merkel took in 1 million refugees with all of, you know, they have a completely different culture, right? And she said, well, it's because we're not producing at a high enough rate. You know, we're just you know, basically what you could word it is, we're being responsible parents and having 1 or 2 children, where what we need is more people living here. So she brought in 1 million people, and the culture that they brought in has a lot of children. You know, it's a little bit like Catholic families almost. You know, you have 5, 6 kids. And so in like 50 years, the culture in Germany will be totally different. A different one. So there will be no more sort of the typical German culture. I'm not saying... I don't know. It seems like she's sort of committing cultural suicide, basically. What's having N? Man, I struggle reading these things. Yeah, some are having none. Right. I think the Earth needs to sort of slow down on population at this point, though. Because I remember when I was a kid, there was like 3.5 billion. Now there's like 8. That's nuts. I mean, there's got to be a point where you say, you know, you don't want to turn into Logan's Run or Soylent Green, right? Right, Don? People are eating people. Hey, Ada. And Logan's Run was there were so many people that you just sort of drew out of a lottery, and then when your name got drawn, you were just like incinerated. Soylent Green is people. You know, a lot of people haven't even seen that movie. They just know the quotes. I've seen it twice. Okay, I'm that cool. Did you email it to me, Bridget? Yeah, maybe I'll just make a video on it, you know? Just for you, Bridget. I just don't know what I'll be able to analyze. I mean, if you have a lot of information that I could analyze, but it seemed like there's like almost nothing. Okay, I'll check it out though. Oh yeah? Yeah, it's actually a pretty good movie. Remember that? He'd get a steak and it was really precious. That guy would bring it to him. Yep, it was sad about Bourdain. For me, it's more sad about Krauthammer. But it sounds like Bourdain was... I read an article where his girlfriend was seen with somebody else, and a photographer took pictures and then removed them after he found out that he killed himself. I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind LJ on here, but every time he talks, it makes me feel less likely. It's like you read what he writes, and it's just absolutely never fits anything. I'm wondering how a conversation might go with LJ Moon. It'd be something like, "Hey LJ, what do you think about the Rachel Del Tondo case?" And then LJ would respond, "Cookies, bacon, and fat. Yum, sometimes eat, not when hat happy hoo-hee-la." And then I'd say, "Wow, what does that mean?" And he'd say, "Gray, you're mean." And then I'd say, "No, seriously though, what did you think of Rachel Del Tondo?" And he'd say, "Beans, good, happy, talk someday." Yeah, so it would be hard to have a conversation because it's never really related to what we were actually just saying. But you never know. Maybe if he's on, maybe he'll change the way he is, because then he'll realize he's on the spotlight, you know, and then now he has to be normal. Might be weird. Yeah, that does sound like girl talk, like code. That actually, what I just said a second ago means something in girl talk. Like Ada and a couple other women, man, that stuff makes sense. And they're just on fire, going back and forth, and by God, I don't know, Bob. A lot of people do that. A lot of people, like in prison, they hang themselves just on the floor, figure out a way to do it. It doesn't really... I mean, I'd like to know the circumstances, but I'm not skeptical about anything, you know? All right, LJ, when do you want to come on here? All right, guy. Do you got your app? Does LJ have the Hangouts app? I actually have the app's been open this entire time I've been on here, but nobody came on. Here, I'll put this link right here. See if anybody in here can come on here. Here we go. Boom! Look at that, huh? Anybody. Anybody at all. Yeah, like David Carradine. Remember that? He killed himself like that. Kung Fu. If you can snatch this pebble from my hand, you can be free. Is it not better to kill the butterfly than let it fly away? No, that's not what it was. Is it not... This is David Carradine. Is it not better to kill the caterpillar than let it turn into a butterfly and fly away? That's from... Whoa, Jesus, God. God, that freaked me out. Who's this? Who's this person? Man, that actually worked, don't it?
Gonna turn my...
Your camera's on. You're like you're on the... Who is this, though?
What do I do here?
You
Sandra.
talk. Oh, yeah, you just talk. You just... let's see. Oh, John, what's the name again? I'm trying to find it in the chat. Let's see. I'm not even sure where mine... I think I have the whole screen. Where did my picture go, though?
Trying to figure out how to do this so I can hear you and you can hear me, but
well, you have
I
to
turn the video off, right?
You have to turn the volume off on the video. Yeah. Just a second. Huh. I'm trying to figure out where... Oh, is this me here? Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm here, but I have you on... Hey, that sounds like my dog.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my chihuahuas.
Yeah, that's why it sounds like mine, because that's what I had. Whoa! Look at that in the dark. So now you can
Hi,
see
it's
it.
Audra.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
I just thought I'd try the thing. I didn't even know if I had the app.
Ah, cool.
So.
Well, we can get everybody else in there. Come on, who else has the guts?
I was being brave.
That's right.
I'm gonna turn my earpiece on though, so that I don't wake up the whole house.
Can you can see my screen right though, right? Like if
I can see you on my screen.
Oh yeah, let me go to... Well, I mean, if I went like this though, you can see it, right?
Yeah, now I can see the map.
Right. What's your dog growling at? That's exactly what mine sounds like.
Oh, here, it's just...
What's your dog?
This is Sophie. She's a loud dog.
What's your dog?
This is Sophie. She's a loud dog.
I just heard you a second time. Or did you repeat that?
Oh, because Bridget is now here. Hi, Bridget.
Oh.
Hi. I want to thank Gray for featuring Vicky. She doesn't get too much press. We try to put her out there a lot, so this means a lot to us. So I thank you, and I didn't mean to bombard your email, but I sent you a lot of different news stories and stuff, and hopefully you'll be able to put together some sort of video and some analysis. The case is really strange and weird to us. The family, we're kind of thinking that she may have drowned in the quarry. They have not drained it completely. And they did have to wait because it's up in Wisconsin and there was a lot of snow. So they drained it as much as they possibly can, and they haven't found anything. But the search dogs keep going to that area.
Oh, weird. So if I was, I don't know if you can see my screen here, but like where on here is the quarry? To the right or left? Or
correct. Honestly, I cannot remember. I am the extended family member, and it's my husband's cousin, her mom, that's missing. And so we are currently military, and we live down here in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So we aren't there. So I cannot actually give you the exact quarry. So hopefully with the news articles that I did send you, you might be able to pinpoint it down.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But I was hoping that you could. You have to turn down your audio from the video itself, because you can hear me. and see my screen. So you don't need to hear the video audio, the one from YouTube. I don't know if that's what you're hearing. I don't know if that's what you're listening to. Maybe we just have a feedback or something. But
yes, I'm actually using my computer and I'm using YouTube and connecting that way to you. So let me go ahead you
can just turn down the audio on YouTube though, and then watch the Hangout screen because that's the live.
Okay.
Like that's about 2 or 3 seconds behind on the YouTube.
Okay, my YouTube video is muted, and now I'm just using the Hangouts.
Yeah. So here's Audra, Bridget.
Yep.
And I'm this one over here, but it's just a repeat of the screen there. Yeah. Okay. So what are you like? You're on the screen right now. So I like that. I like your coloring there. You're bright on the screen. I'm in this dark cave. Look at me.
Well, I wanted to make sure I was seen and visible, and the main thing was to get Vicky's story out. So I'm trying to do justice for her.
That's very
definitely,
cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely read through there. What, like, is there anything, like, when you want me to piece together something, I wonder what else, you know, when I read those missing persons files just right there on the side, it didn't seem like there was a lot of information, but I guess you did send me the file, so there's something in there, but...
Correct. I sent you some family photos, some different news articles. There actually has been 2 separate psychic views on that thing too. So I thought, well, you know, just throwing in all kinds of theories out there. Yeah. The main thing was, you know, just to look at Vicky. So the night in question, they went out to dinner. They came home, and by me saying they, that means her common law husband and her son, Wesley. They all lived in a house together.
Was that the one on the map? Was that the one on the map right there? Whoa, that sounds weird. Can you hear me? God, it sounds like
I could. You broke up a couple bits there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, the house that I have on Google Earth, is that the right one, or?
I believe that is. I will talk to Marcia, which is her daughter, and I will ask her to see if she would like to come on and speak with you further. Since she is the daughter, she's been working tirelessly on her case. She always posts about her mother. But the most important thing about Marcia and what she's done in connection with her mother's disappearance is that she has founded the Missing Persons Advocacy Group for Wisconsin. And you'll be able to see that on her Facebook page and on Vicky's page as well. That has just been started and just been funded within this year or 2.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
But yes, to answer your question, I can ask Marcia and make sure that is the correct feature of house that you're showing on your video.
Yeah, well, they said that's where she was last seen, so I'm assuming that they meant, like, did she go on a walk? I mean, what are the circumstances around that?
No, see, that's the strange thing. Vicky never drove, so that is totally out of the question. It was cold and snowy that night, and her shoes that she wore that night were near the door. So she evidently walked outside with no shoes on. She was also a smoker, and if you are a smoker, I'm not, but my parents were, and they never went anywhere without their cigarettes. I mean, that's just something, even if you're going outside for a few minutes, you know, you might sit out to have a smoke, you would always have your cigarettes with you. Vicky left those as well as her purse and her house keys. So if you were to walk outside in the middle of the night, now this is late at night, wouldn't you have something, a coat? She didn't even have a coat on.
Yeah.
And the police do suspect foul play. And I sent you an article, Gray, in your email. And it listed some of the items that they did recover. And by, I mean, questionable means is that they found sexually explicit photos.
But who suspects foul play?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, the audio is not sounding very good. I can hear it echoing back, but it sounds really muffled. I don't know why, but on your end, on your back to me, can you hear me clearly, or when I speak?
I can hear you clearly at times, but at other times you will break up a little bit. Sorry, I only have my laptop on. I could try to maybe turn the volume down on the laptop if you would like.
No, I think it's fine. I mean, I can hear you perfectly. But yeah, the best way to do it actually is to have like a headset that you would listen to, because then the audio doesn't leave the phone and then sort of it does a loop. So you're actually just but it's not that bad. But yeah, so who's saying that they think it's foul play?
The police.
Oh, really?
In Pulaski, yes. We're from actually Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so this is a small little town where Vicky is actually made her residence, made her home at.
That's interesting. They must have, I mean, what information do they have that makes them really think that, other than that there was some pornographic, I don't even know how that would lead to that, but yeah.
Yes, there was also some blood that was found in the home, some blood droplets, when they executed the search warrant.
Okay. And so the son, did he like go there and then leave after?
Correct. He left there and didn't return home. He left for the night in the evening. So he did not return home until about 4 a.m. And he went straight to his room. So he naturally would assume his mother was in her bed too.
Yeah, but that it actually said the 4 a.m. was the time that she went missing. That exact time on that name. So how did that come about?
You know, honestly, we don't know. The family has many speculations. You know, we're just supporting the police. I want to say they have been doing a tirelessly job bringing search dogs out, and all the search dogs, they would lead to that quarry area or they're stopped right at the driveway. So to me, using common sense and logic, which is why I like you, Greg, because you apply those features to your video, is that something happened at that driveway.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Her son didn't take her. You know, he was out on the night doing his own thing. So what could have happened in the driveway?
So
there's nothing... You know, there was no blood found there in the driveway. Nothing suspicious was found at the driveway. Yeah. Just her scent stops there.
So the sound, let's see, not the sound. The son, he left. I mean, they went to have dinner. Then they came home. Did they all come home and then he went out again or something? Is that what you said?
Correct. The son did, yes.
And then he came back at 4 in the morning.
There's definitely no involvement with the son at all. We don't suspect him at all. No, he's been cleared.
Yeah,
the only one that hasn't been cleared has been the common law husband or husband of Vicky.
Yeah,
he has not been cleared.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to get because it says on that NamUs profile that I was at, it said something about she was reported missing 4 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Like she went missing at 4 a.m. in the morning, and that's the same time he came home. So maybe he looked in and said, "Oh wow, my mom, where's mom?" And then maybe that sort of started something. I don't know.
Right. You know what? Honestly, I don't know the exact time. Yeah. So I am personally relying on news articles for that, because there's so many things going in your head that you can't remember I'll be honest, I can't remember the facts. And who would have that would be, of course, news articles, and then, of course, her daughter, Marcia. I'm just working to bring her case to light for it to be featured. And I certainly will ask Marcia if she wants to come and speak with you.
Okay. Let's see. How old is the son?
He is, well, I think he was 34 at the time she went missing.
So about like 40 almost. I mean, yeah, well, like 39-ish, something.
Correct.
That is kind of weird. So let's see, the blood. It's a little bit like that Maura Murray case. Did you ever? I mean, in that, you know what I mean? Like
I definitely equate it to that. That was my first thinking as well when I, talked to Marcia about this case a lot, and it's just so strange.
Yeah, because the dog went down like the dog went down the street following the blood, and it just stops, like right there, you know?
Correct. Correct. So, excuse me, I'm sorry.
But you're saying that it also tracked some blood over by... So how did the dogs get near a quarry and then start picking up a scent again? Like, how'd that work?
I don't remember. I think I read that in a news article. There have been so many different articles and different things that have been written. But I do remember for sure that they lost her scent at the driveway. So how they picked it back up, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's almost like they drove around, took the dog back out, and saw if it would pick up somewhere else, and then it was like, whoa, it kept hitting over by the quarry, but which supports somebody putting a, I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there, putting a body into a vehicle, driving it to the quarry, then you take the body out, and then another trail is left for, but are they still picking up the trail now? Like, I mean, this is 5 years later. How could they still be? That's weird.
Correct. My thinking would be like, you know, I can speak remotely to this because I'm removed somewhat. But if he or someone, I want to say he, someone took the body to the quarry, maybe possible they laid it on the ground, and that was where her scent could be there as well. That's just my thinking. That's just my opinion.
So they've never drained the whole quarry, though, right?
No, they haven't been successful in draining it completely. I mean, they drained a lot of it, and they did have divers. And I want to tell everyone out there that is listening, please look up the case. You can just type her name in. It's a very unusual last name, so it's not hard to miss. And you'll see plenty of news articles come up. There is a Charlie Project. There's also Web Sleuths that has her information and some forms on it. And like I said, Gray, I also sent you 2 different articles on also some psychic insights as well as what they think.
Right. But a lot of people know me, though. The psychic angle, I'll look at it, but it's not my... maybe I'll give it to a friend of mine who's really into the psychic aspects. Well, she's not really that into it, but that's... I always... I
just wanted to give you all possible theories.
Yeah,
just anything to you.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's really cool that you're dedicated. I mean, there's some people just kind of, but I really appreciate the way you're trying to get everybody to look at it. And,
yes, I really do. I don't care. I just lost my mother this Mother's Day this year.
Oh,
so and I'll break down here, but to have answers like I did and have my cousin, I consider her my cousin. She is my cousin-in-law, but I still call her my cousin. To have her not to have any answers about her mom is the worst case imaginable to me. And I just want everyone to just look for her. If you may have seen her at a restaurant one time, it may have been a while ago. You don't know that date, but bring it to the police and let them search and let them find out anything.
Yeah.
So like sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's like the Ebby Stepik, it's kind of, the family they didn't have their child, and then finally they found her, but I don't know if you saw, that was crazy how they found her right there where the car was found all those years ago, So, yeah, it's terrible when families don't actually get to do... I don't really call it closure. A lot of people call it that.
No.
But to me, it's just you're able to at least say goodbye, and perhaps then you can start moving on a little bit. However, you're never going to say,
and it's called finding answers. You now have an answer to where is she. You won't be able to answer all your questions.
Right.
But you will be able to find some answers, the key word being find.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't go on the web sleuths too much because I have a hard time even navigating around there. But I'll take I'll take the articles that you have, and what I'll do is I'll probably just make a video. Maybe it's 15 minutes long, or whatever.
That's fine.
that just sort of goes through everything, and at least it starts getting out there again, and then maybe we can do more, maybe an update. You know, get your what did you say? Your sister? Who was that you mentioned?
It's my cousin-in-law.
Your cousin-in-law.
It's my my husband's cousin. So for me, it'd be my cousin-in-law.
Right. Yeah. So you know, then we could do some more with that and everything. Have they looked into the this husband, or not a common law husband, much? Or?
Yes. Yeah, they have looked into him, and this is my opinion. So you always have to throw that out there. But this is my opinion, that I do believe that with the police, as they stated, foul play suspected, and I do believe the husband had something to do with it.
Well, it seems like it's almost like it's almost the odds of it not being are pretty low, because you come home from dinner, you're kind of winding down for the evening. She doesn't have her shoes on. It almost seems to me like they got in a fight or something in the house, and and something happened, and then he tried to cover it up by wrapping her up in something and then driving her somewhere and then maybe dumping her, and she just hasn't been. I mean, I'd like to say, oh wow, she's still alive, but that's probably not the case. And then he dumped her, and that makes sense.
And Marcia knows it best. I mean, she has resided. I can't speak to her feelings, but from her post, she knows, she keeps holding out hope, but she also knows that right now the most important thing is, alive or dead, is just to bring her home. That's it. That's all she says all the time. So I always put in the tagline or emails, please bring Vicky home. That's all we want. Bring her home.
How deep is that quarry? It's like a pond in a quarry, right?
Correct. It's more, it is more of a pond, but up in Wisconsin, they call it a quarry.
Yeah. I mean, quarries, I guess, is where you do, get gravel or whatever. You're just excavating, whatever materials in there. But a lot of times there's ponds in quarries, and they put fish in them and stuff like that. But I wonder, like, how deep do you think that is? Is it really deep? I mean,
it is really deep. I don't know the actual depth of it, and I'm actually not even sure if it was been reported, the actual depth of the quarry. I do believe there is some video out there featuring the divers that have been going in and searching down there, so you all can look the case up and find some videos of the divers there, and maybe you can kind of get a sense of maybe how deep it is by just watching that.
All right. Yeah, so just as a technical point, when people are watching the screen and I'm looking at the big screen over here where your whole face is, I'm looking away from you. It's sort of this crazy technical, I don't know if you can see the screen, but I'm looking over here. So if I look at this screen, I can still see you, but you're in a smaller window. Now, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm not like, oh, I'm turning my
No. I totally understand. I mean, it's the same thing for me. Your eyes could be diverted very easily depending on where your camera is set.
Right. Huh. Okay, well, I'm going to get your email and go through that and put something together in the next few days. How about that?
That sounds great. Go ahead.
How did you find Gray? I mean, how long have you been?
I've been actually a lurker, so I've been watching him for a long time. He's always filled my nights. I find his. I started getting into watching Gray's videos on Jodi Arias.
Oh, really? Wow. You're one of the people that's actually a witness that I really did do videos prior to the Kanika Jenkins case. Okay.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And that's why I reached out to you, because I liked your thought and your analysis on cases. And basically, you didn't put up with no nonsense from other people either. So I like that as well.
I know that I wish sometimes, like a lot of times I'm hard on some of the people that comment in there. And I don't, it's just kind of the way I am. I see something and I just go, oh God, jeez, I don't know. I mean, so I'm sorry if that offends some people, but it's just kind of what comes with the territory. This is just me. I'm an old dog now. I mean, I'm 52 and I can't be taught new tricks. But
well, I
I'll try harder.
appreciate your format. So
Yeah.
don't worry about offending me. I love doing it, what you do. So keep on doing what you do.
That's cool that you've been watching that.
Yes.
Did you see any of those later Arius ones where I took that picture that was in Juan's book, and I, because in his book he had a really clear picture of the Exhibit 162, or I think it was 62. Yeah, where you see Travis's foot. Remember that one?
I did. I watched it all. You had, I think it was like a little playlist that you have of Jodi Arias, and I just watched the whole thing. I love not formulating and sticking to an opinion. I like to keep an open mind per se, and just listen to what everyone has to say and formulate my own opinion. So I appreciate your videos because you did put a lot of work into them, and I think it's very quality work, and it made me think.
Oh, that the gunshot could have been first. Yeah.
And I'm not pro Arias by any means, so.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is people, when I would say that the gunshot was first, all of a sudden I was this huge Jodi Arias fan merely because of that. It was amazing. It was, you remember social media during that time, right? Did you watch it? Yeah, I mean, it was insane. I mean, God, that is just... If you had to believe every single word that the prosecutor said, or you were almost like it was like heresy or something. It was amazing.
Correct. And the same, which I'm going to speak about something that's very controversial as well, is along with the Casey Anthony case as well.
Right.
People just totally believed one side, and even if you believe just a tiny minute what was said pro Anthony, you were labeled, talked about so, horribly. And I'm like, we should keep an open mind and formulate our own opinions. And it's not bad if we want to think something of this, because it's a possibility. But I'm not pro Anthony either. So.
Yeah. That's true. That's one of the reasons why I appreciate coming to Gray's channel and seeing his perspective, is because there's so many channels out there that will just throw whatever you want to hear at you, and you need that other perspective in there to actually try to formulate your own version of the truth, I guess.
Correct. Anything thought-provoking, and that's what I consider Gray to be, some thought-provoking. His videos make you think. You don't pick a side, you put the facts out there, you use common sense and come to your own conclusion.
Right.
Yeah. Can I say something? Right? Listen, I did not have these people come on here to say this. I swear to God.
No, this is actually my first Google Hangout. So
yeah, me too.
Hey, there we go. So
I literally did not do this, but I appreciate the kind words. That is
you deserve it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that
even you doing a 15-minute segment on Vicky is totally fine. It's just anything, like you said, to get a video done that people can go back and look at throughout time. It's always going to be there, and it just bring attention. It opens up a whole new world when you put it on YouTube, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Has there been many videos? Has anybody made a video on it? Maybe one or two? None?
Marsha has made some videos explaining about what she's going through, and there's always some news articles and stuff that they come and do videos on her, but not a YouTube or a podcast interview. None of those have been done or featured yet. So basically, you kind of got the exclusive here.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm speaking to you about it now. But otherwise, it's just been news.
Well, maybe I'll do it, and maybe do a couple, and then maybe I'll get a hold of Lorden. I actually have his number and phone, and then maybe he can do one too. And then it would be I would
appreciate that. I did speak to send him a quick notification asking him if he would look into the case, and I did not hear anything back yet. But I love his perspective as well.
Yeah.
And Danielle Hallen, or I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Danielle? Yeah. I watched her as well. So all you three can get together, and I would just be eternally grateful.
Yeah, Danielle Hallen gets a lot more. She gets a ton of views compared to other people. But I think it comes down to like people sharing, you know, like going around and sharing, and then people start watching and going, wow. But, you know, it has to be... What's that?
Well, I believe also in a community as well. So, like, I was very happy to see some collaboration going on between you and John Lorden as well. And then Danielle did one with John Lorden just recently as well. So I love seeing a collaboration of all you guys come together and feature a case and talk about it.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. You need to talk about these cases.
Yeah, I agree.
Danielle had another channel before she started the crime channel, and it was like a makeup tutorial type channel, and I think she had a large following from that before she started the crime channel.
Well, I don't know, because let me just say, I actually went to one of her first videos on this stuff, and she had 500 subscribers, and that was only like last year.
No, it was a different channel.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, but on this one that she has now, like, she literally went from, I saw it when she had like almost nobody, like a year ago even, and then bam, I mean, now it's like 200,000 people. It's insane.
It went really high, really fast. I started watching her from pretty much from the beginning, and I didn't know she had that other channel, but I've heard her talk about it before, and I think a lot of them came over. I don't know when, like right at the beginning or whatever, but she does have a lot of charisma.
Yeah, I was saying, how did you get, like, I actually was asking in one of my chats, I mean, I go, man, how could so many people watch her? What's going on? And then some people said, I like watching their makeup and stuff. I was like, oh, God, you know, come on. And then I was thinking, what do I need to do?
I never watched her videos on makeup or anything. I actually found her either through you, Gray, or from Lorden. Actually, at the end of the videos, they show sometime on YouTube, so some suggestions, and that's how I found her.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, she does. She puts gets a lot of information in there, a lot of theories. I actually like watching her. It's it's entertaining. You know, you get information, and you don't get bored or anything.
Yeah, the way I look at it, almost as long as you're talking about it, I don't care if you're throwing out conspiracy theories. I don't care what you're doing.
Ooh.
As long as you're talking about the case, it brings attention.
Okay, I'm going to bring up aliens and the Greys, and when I do your case, the aliens from Zeta Minor, because you don't mind about putting in conspiracy theories. That's a joke.
No,
okay?
I don't mind at all.
Come on, where's the laugh? I mean, I was looking for some laugh tracks there. I was going to put
I'm sorry. I'm in my serious mode.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I won't be talking about aliens.
Talk about conspiracies. I was just watching this evening as well before I seen your pop-up notification for live about the Roanoke colonies, since I'm in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So the lost colonies of Roanoke. I was watching the Conspiracy Files. They were on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not anti-conspiracy theory. I believe that some exist. I actually think that in the Rachel Del Tondo case, there's probably something there. And then there's another case that I was going to look at. I think there's something, another lady, a girl named Kanika something else. Her name just happens to be Kanika, but that's a crazy case. She worked for some secret security firm, and then somebody showed up at her door with an FBI badge, and she looked through and she wouldn't open it, and then the person just kind of left. And then the next day somebody was delivering a package, or a few days later, a package, and she still wouldn't open the door. But when the first guy with the FBI badge came by, she heard somebody say, go that way, you know. So it was a second person there. And so they left, and then she went to the police and called the FBI even, and they said, well, we wouldn't do that, so that's weird. And then she had a security system put in her home, and then I guess somebody came by with a package. She didn't open the door, and then 2 days later she came home and then was just shot right out front of her door. And in that case, literally there's zero information. Like if you go back to, it's only 2008 this happened, so this is not.
Oh wow!
This isn't
That's
like.
pretty recent.
Yeah, so it's 2008, and you go back and you do a Google search and you put in the parameter just for 2008, and there's no original articles like the ones that would be there that would be like today we found, there was none of that. You can't find that. I mean, there might be in a newspaper clip, but it's weird that there's no online articles whatsoever that exist that were the original story. You know how there's a story the next day they'll say, hey, a person was shot outside their apartment, blah, 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 blah. You can't find it. So that's weird. So that's kind of like, wow, okay. I can see the facts leading you to a conspiracy type possible thing here, so don't throw it out the window, So.
Right. And then what was the case name again? I haven't heard of this one. You said it was Tamika?
No, it was Kanika, the same name as the girl that, let me see. I got it over here, hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me figure out where. Oh, Kanika Powell.
Powell.
Yeah,
Powell?
Yeah, but her name is Knika. It's not spelled the same as Kanika Jenkins.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I might do that one at some point. But
that one seems very interesting as well, especially since you said some articles, have kind of disappeared.
Yeah, what would be interesting would be to go and actually get, maybe you'd have to go to the microfiche almost online, see if you can find, go to that date, the day after probably, and see if there's an article in the local paper. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go do that, but I'm just saying in general, so the general you, okay? Yeah. But anyways, that was interesting. What about you, Audrey?
I'm sorry, I was answering a question in the chat.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any questions about Vicky's case in the chat? I don't have that up. I just have the Google Hangouts right now, and I'm focusing on that.
They were, while you were talking about it, there were some.
I can go like this, and you can see it.
Ah.
I forgot to do that.
I've got up another window. That's what I did, yeah.
Yeah, but I could have just done this and made it a lot easier for you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Earlier while you were talking about it, there were some questions.
I can scroll it up.
One of them was about like the tire tracks. Were there any tire tracks?
Oh yeah.
They were thinking maybe someone pulled up to the house and
okay, that's a good theory, but no, we have not had any tire track marks, but that's a good theory.
But they don't live
because
really
it was snow. There was snow at that point in time, so
there was, huh?
There would have been tracks if something would have happened. That would have been different than the car in the driveway, so to speak.
And did you say there was some blood found or anything like that?
Yes, there was some blood found in the home.
And where was that?
They didn't exactly pinpoint like what room or anything like that. Let's see. I don't have the information pulled up right away, but there is a news article, and it does list what has been found during the search warrant. And it does state that blood was found, or blood drops, I think is what the wording was, to be correct, was found in the home.
So on April 25th, there was snow out there?
Yes, sometimes it doesn't melt till, well, over here, we would still be in our summer months and they're still in their winter months. But yes, there can still be snow on the ground.
Okay, so what, I forgot, what state is this? I had the state up here before, but what state is this again? I'm going to put it over on the address here. What state was this in?
Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Wisconsin gets pretty... I had the address on this thing that you're seeing blinking right here. I just had her name, but what I should have done was put the... let me see if I can... Well, I'll just look it up again later, but I'll just put Wisconsin.
And then I'm just sort of scrolling through because I kind of forgot what they were.
Well, let me say this before
this is what included that the investigator sees 38 items that included 7 computers, 12 hard drives, Vicky's cell phone, her purse, 2 canes, some financial documents, female sexually explicit photographs, and that was in parentheses, a picture of a man pointing a handgun at the camera, an envelope that was self-addressed to Vicky's son, Wesley Edges, who still lives in the Canush Road property, a roll of tape, swabs of blood from the floors in the bedroom, kitchen, hallway, and a pillow. The amount of blood found is not specified. The warrant does not say what prompted the search. The sheriff's office did not want to comment on the case because it is still ongoing.
Did you send me that in the document?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Huh, that's great. That's, wow, that's a lot of blood just sort of around, you know? Like, I mean, even if it's just drops, right? Like, I don't have just blood drops around the house, you know? That's,
no, neither do I.
Yeah, most people don't just,
drops,
you know,
like if you cut yourself, you clean that stuff up.
Correct.
How was the relationship with her, her boyfriend, her husband?
Turbulent, to say the least.
And I guess he has an alibi, or does he have an alibi?
He did have an alibi, but whether or not that checked out, I'm again getting confused with the news sources again, whether or not it was believable or not.
Yeah, he does. He cannot possibly have a verifiable alibi because he's at home with her only. She goes missing, and then he's there, and there's no way. The only person at 4 o'clock in the morning when the son came home, he could say, "Oh, he was there when I got home." But yeah, there's 7 hours of missing time, where I mean he has no chance of being verified. So he.
Well, what also gets my wheels turning is blood on a pillow. As a woman, and Vicky, of course, you know, is female. She kept house very clean. Would not just leave a blood pillow or even blood droplets on a pillow or pillowcase.
Right,
I mean, she would have took that off and cleaned it.
Right, that was the one thing that you mentioned in your list that was a little bit more weird than the other one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I want to go back to the tire track part. What do you talk? I mean, because if you're saying there's snow on the ground, they already would have had tire tracks going in and out, you know, driving around, doing their own thing. Right. They just didn't see anything that wasn't a match for their car, right? Is that what you're saying? I mean, there would.
No, they didn't see anything that was out of the unusual. We'll put it that way. They didn't see anything unusual.
Well, there wouldn't be, right? Like, I mean, like he drove in, he went out to dinner, and then he came back, and then he, you know, probably throughout the day.
Normal activity-wise, you know.
Right. Well, I don't know how there would be. Like, if he did it, there wouldn't be any out of the ordinary. You see what I'm saying? Like,
correct. No, someone was just asking about that, and I was just letting them know that, you know, nothing unusual. There's tire tracks there, yes, but nothing out of the norm.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's the chat again for you. A lot of times they go on to something else. Yeah, that's the thing is, I'm talking to you. That's kind of what matters right here, because I'm going to make the video. But a lot of times if you go in there, I mean, I used to get more discouraged. I'd look in there. I'd be talking about something real serious. I look in there and they're talking about what movie they watched last week. You know, but that's
and you know what? To me, that's okay because someone's going to go back at a later time and watch this. Sometimes that's what I do, Gray, when you're on and you know, I haven't been able to watch you during that night because I fell asleep. I'll watch you during the day. So it doesn't bother me. People are still going to hear Vicky's story.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying. I mean, the thing is, I'm sort of new. I've only been using my face and my voice for probably, God, I don't know, 4 months. I mean, my voice for longer than that, but my face, it's not. It's relatively new. And yes, Straight Drop gets the credit because I had to prove that I wasn't some weird alien or whatever the hell they were saying at the time. All right. But yeah, so I'm still kind of learning the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think it really ever serves me when I get mad at somebody in the chat, but it's hard for me not to look at something and then comment, because that's just kind of the way I am, you know. But
right.
That's something I'm still working on.
Well, sometimes, you know, people do have... Go ahead. What is it? What's your name again? Audra? Audra. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Some people need to just kind of thicken their skin up a little bit, too. It's not always personal. It's just...
No.
They need to thicken their skin up a little. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
That Gray, and like earlier, Gray was saying to the one person who was talking and was kind of talking out of line a little bit earlier. That wasn't the first time that she was doing that kind of behavior where she was just spewing all of her virtues in a chat before. And it doesn't bother me, but when you're talking about a case or you're trying to do something else and then they're still just doing all this stuff in the back, it's kind of like that passive aggressive behavior, you know, that comes up sometimes, and sometimes you can ignore it and sometimes you're just like, okay, but whatever, you know, and if you can't take it, then, you know, sorry about you.
I don't mean to interrupt again, but going back to Vicky's story, Pittsville is in Brown County, Wisconsin. It's in a very small township. There's only less than 3,000 people in it. So pretty much communities like that, everyone knows everyone. So it's one of those, everyone knows everyone's business. So there's just no communication coming out about this case. And that's kind of intriguing me as well.
Yeah. It seems like smaller towns are kind of like that. You know?
Yeah, smaller towns talk.
Yeah. You'd think you would hear something. Well, it's like the Delphi case is kind of like you'd think that you'd heard something, but it's kind of just nothing. You know? I don't know. But in his case, there might not be anything to... If he did it, he didn't tell anybody, then there's nobody to be able to be talking about anything. You know, he'd have to be drunk at a bar and go, hey, man, I really, you know...
Right. You know, Wisconsin has been known for the #1 drinking town anyways, or state, sorry. Right. So, I wouldn't put it past him to maybe go out to a bar and maybe, you know, loosen up a little bit. Loose lips sink ships. Yeah. So,
well, you'd hope.
I'm just surprised that there's nothing coming out.
Yeah.
You know, the police and the state crime lab, you know, they haven't even commented as why the search warrant was even issued.
Yeah. Was there any? Was there an insurance at all, or anything like that? Insurance?
No. Her husband, whose name is James, I didn't speak about that earlier. He's been saying that she just committed suicide. So even if there was insurance, most insurance policies don't pay out for suicide.
So this is the guy, this is, when you say husband, is this a different person than the other one? Or is this the person?
No, this is the same guy that's implemented. James is the same guy that's implemented in this.
Okay.
In her disappearance.
Implicated. Yeah. Yeah, it's, let's see. Because you were saying common law husband. So is he really a husband, or is he kind of?
Yeah, there was no real like marriage
certificate
between them two.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So.
Huh. Wow, that just seems really, man. That's gonna be. It seems like it'd be kind of tough to get him unless he says something. Because it does seem like, what are the odds? You come home from dinner. You go into the house. Your son then takes off, and wow, miraculously, during that time, your wife or whatever just disappears, and she doesn't have her shoes on. She leaves everything basically.
No cell phone, no cigarettes.
Right.
You know, none of her creature habits.
And it was snow on the ground, so it wouldn't be like you'd go outside.
No.
Like if it was June, you might go outside with no shoes on because it's warm. You're just kind of having a cigarette or something.
And you've seen the area, or you pulled up the area, Gray. You've seen it's all woods and everything. I mean, it's not a neighborhood. It's not like a sidewalk through a neighborhood that you could walk on. It's wooded area. Someone knows something. People do not vanish into thin air.
Well, it looks to me like, I mean, I see what you're saying by wooded. There's woods here, but to me it looks like one of those open plains area where what you wouldn't do is just get out on the snow and just start walking down the, I mean, like, there's no way to keep snow off of this street, basically, if it was snowing. So the only place to go would be walking in snow barefoot, you know.
And
there is woods here.
I don't care how,
you know, but
yeah. She's lived up there all her life. She wouldn't go without, she knows how cold it is. So it's not something that she would just walk out into barefoot. She knows what it's like up there.
Did you know her pretty well, or did you know her?
I personally didn't. By the time I married into the family, I didn't get a chance to meet her. And she went missing soon after.
Yeah. So let's guess. Let's just say he was in the car here. I'm going to go with this. He's not going to go right by his house. So the quarry's probably, I wonder, that's not it, but it would have been on the main road, and then you would turn to get to it somewhere, so it's not close to his house. But, you know, I guess I'll just find that in the article. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hopefully, I mean, they have talked about it there, so hopefully that's why I'm, you know, you'll be able to find it and pinpoint it down better than I can. And of course, my mind's all over the place right now, so I really can't think, you know, directly straight. But yeah, she went missing in, what was it, 2013, I believe? Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to know her because my husband was military. And so we moved, and we weren't really in the state for very long. I only lived in Wisconsin with my husband up there before he got recalled back to the military for about a year and a half. So I didn't get a chance to really meet Vicki.
Yeah, 25, 59.
But yeah, she's a small woman.
Yeah, she's pretty little. She's thin, but she was 5'6".
Yes.
But she wasn't like, you know, she was decent shape, probably. I mean.
Yeah.
Some of the chat questions. Wanted to know if the husband owned any firearms, or if you knew anything about his status with guns.
I can't remember. Like I said, I do know they did find a photograph of him, or not him. They didn't say who. Someone. Of course, you know, they won't say that, but pointing a handgun at the, you know, the camera picture. So.
Who was doing that?
They didn't say. They just said a photograph.
And was it like of him? Like, was it on his phone, or like what? Who was it? Did they determine if it was just something he downloaded or what?
No, it definitely was a photo that, you know, because they didn't speak much. They just said a photo. So I really can't even tell you anything more. They really just leak little bits of information, but really not enough to form a full picture.
Has that husband stayed connected with the son or any of the other family, or is he just like gone?
He's just like gone.
Yeah.
We don't hear from him. We don't hear from James at all. James is the one which is her husband, and woke up around 4 a.m. So that's who you're talking about, probably Gray. Okay. They said he began searching for his wife. He left for work when he couldn't find her because he still had to go to work. And then he said he came home in the afternoon, and then that's when he called police.
Well, see, that's insane. I mean, think how stupid. Okay, you come home with your wife after dinner, and then your son goes out, and then at 4 in the morning you finally go, oh, wow, where's my wife? I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Like, you're going to hang out. Yeah, like at 11:30, right, at night, he'd probably be going, you know, she did go out for that cigarette a few hours ago. I wonder, you know. And by God, she didn't even have her shoes on. I mean, see, that's the kind of stuff that's weird. Like, or, you know, I don't know what time the guy goes to bed. You know, maybe claim,
Right.
okay, I went to bed at 9 and I thought she was just going to be out for. That's probably what he would say, something like that. But.
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't make
It's
sense.
really strange, and to me, it's strange that he's pushing the suicide theory.
Yeah,
he's
very
the one that
fast.
he keeps saying that. He's the one that's the first suggestion he made to the police.
Oh yeah, so he's trying to get him off his trail. Oh, she was really depressed. I mean, okay, but does she really have the clinical? She does have. That's a fact, right?
Correct.
Depression.
Correct.
Okay. And so maybe he can use that. I mean, it sounds like if the police think foul play is involved, then he's probably using her clinical depression to sell the narrative.
Because I do believe she had a doctor's appointment in the morning. That the day that she the next day. So I do believe that's another thing too. I mean, she took her medicine. She wasn't one of those people that take it for a little bit and then go off or anything like that. No, she took her medicine. She does realize it's helpful to her to take it. So she wasn't one of those people that felt good and went off of it.
I was just petting my chihuahua on the ground. Yeah, that's and also she kept her house clean. It sounds like. I don't know if depressed people, that are that, would I don't know if she cleaned her house that day, of course, but it doesn't.
And I don't know either. I don't think anyone really knows that question. Except the husband and Wesley, since they were living in the house.
Man, this is going to be one of those ones. Well, what'll be cool is just put it all together. I mean, you'd have to have a the problem is if there's no witness to him driving, and he did it, and he hasn't told anybody, it's going to come down to having him tell somebody at some point. Unless you can find her body, and then somehow he tied her up with something that can then be linked back to him. But I mean, the key is, I guess, you got to find her. If there's nothing else, you have to find her, right? Because then you can link something back to him, unless he tells somebody. I don't know. Seems pretty.
Okay, so to clear up some more thoughts about the cadaver dog, I pulled up another article while we're speaking about this. It says a cadaver dog picked up a scent not far from her home at a quarry south of Pulaski. So there was the Brown and Door County dive teams that were there on Monday. They utilized cadaver dogs to dive teams with different technology. And that's all it says about the quarry and, of course, the cadaver dogs.
How do you spell the name of that the town? Pulaski.
Pulaski.
Okay. They didn't live in Pulaski. I see it. I got it right here. Right there.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's saying south of Pulaski, a quarry.
Yeah, south of Pulaski.
Let me see if I can see a pond of some kind. That's not a quarry there. Hey, there's something. That looks a hell of a...
I'm looking on my... I also have you on
like a quarry
my
right
TV,
there.
so I might be looking this way.
That looks like a quarry to me.
Yes. I believe that's the one I'm thinking about, what the family and all what we've been talking about.
Okay.
It looks familiar.
Well, there you go. Quarry. All right. See, just give me any little piece, I can get it, all right? I just needed something. I had no clue where that was. I didn't even know how far away it was. But yeah, it's not really that far away, that quarry. Let's see. Yeah, it's only 2.5 miles as the crow flies, but probably like 3 driving. And I don't know really how straight crows fly. I'm gonna have to check that out, but let's see. That was a joke too. I didn't get any laughs, man. You guys, I tell you what.
I'm sorry. I'm actually watching you on my big screen television as well, so I have you like on 3 different areas here.
I'm glad it's not. I'm glad I'm kind of grainy. You know, if I had any kind of a pimple or something, it'd be like, oh, Jesus, huge.
It's concentrating, Gray.
On the HD TV.
Oh, I get all it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna.
Okay.
You can actually come on again too. Like, how about this? How about this? I'll make a video, and then you come back on. And if anything I missed or something, we can go over that stuff.
Perfect. Sounds cool? Perfect.
And then we'll make that only about that. I won't come on and talk about anything else. And then we can have that in sort of a playlist too.
Okay.
And maybe I'll store some of this. I might not save this video, this whole live, but I'll save it and then maybe put together something off of what you said and then some other stuff. Okay. But I'm going to download it before well, crap. And that's over 2 hours now, so it takes like a day and a half for Google to... I'll just leave it up. Who cares? You know, a lot of people will get frustrated when I remove it. They want to get up in the morning and play it for like 3 hours or whatever the hell, which is flattering, but it's like, oh man, sometimes some of this stuff I don't know, you know, it's not PC, and people take it out of context. You know, they just...
Right. But I will say this, I do like the longer formats. So I know you might not appreciate that, but I do enjoy the longer formats, whether on any case that you speak about or several cases.
Yeah.
It, to me, holds my attention more.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how long. Like, when I make these videos, I don't have a planned time of how long. So when I said yours might be 50 minutes, it could be 20. It could be, I mean, it could even be 10, the first one, because maybe I don't have enough stuff, and then maybe ones will get longer, and then you put it all together, and then it's a bigger thing. But it could be 35 minutes, you know, I don't know. It depends on how much I have. Like, what you should do maybe is get your cousin to write up everything she knows, you know, the stuff that she knows, perhaps. Maybe send it to me in the next couple days, and I can put it all together, add it to the articles. You know, maybe tell a more complete story.
Certainly. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time tonight. I won't keep you any longer, Gray. I appreciate everything you've done. And Audria, thank you so much for helping. Or Audria, thank you so much for helping.
Just Audra. Audra, no Audra.
All right, everyone, have a good night.
Yeah, hey, it was my pleasure having you on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was fun. All right, bye.
Hey, thanks for letting me try out the hangout, Gray.
Yeah, here, look, I'm gonna put my dog on there too. Look.
Oh, this is Dax.
And this is Blue. Hey, hold on a second. Oh, he's like wiggling around. I'm gonna make it bigger. Just a second. Oh, here it is. This one. All right, here's Blue. He's a
look at Chihuahua friend.
Well, there you go. Blue's like, come on, Blue, look over there. Look over there. Look, it's right there. Look, see that? Poor Blue. He was sleeping and I woke him up.
Aw. I have 3 Chihuahuas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get another one. I never thought I'd be into Chihuahuas, but man, they're the best dogs I've ever had.
Yep.
This one is for sure. But yeah.
We had always had big dogs, and now we have these. This is Sophie.
Oh, yeah. So have you found that they do kind of have pretty similar, like I know they're all different, but they're actually known for all being totally different, but are they all, do they have a similar temperament? Like they're really sweet, like they kind of nudge in.
They're very sweet, and they like to be held and cuddled.
That guy, look at that. They're, you know, when they poop or something, when they're not, and you get in trouble. Look, my dog, when I go, Blue, he'll walk like the slowest walk in the history of mankind. It's like this thing where he's literally, I don't know if you can see me, but here, I'll show you. Like he'll go like that. Yeah, it's like the slowest thing in the world, and he's just kind of looking like he's going to try to get away. It's just the dumbest thing.
Yeah, they're pretty smart little dogs, I think.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the other one, but she's buried somewhere.
No, Blue, he fetches, actually. He fetches, and it'll play this little soccer game where there's a ball, it'll block it, and it'll bring it back to you. He'll throw it to you. He'll literally put it and then push it with his foot and have it roll. He's pretty weird.
There's the other one. You see her back there?
Oh, the white one. Oh, let me see that one. Bring it. Yeah.
What? She's chubby.
Oh man, That one's been eating some hot dogs, huh? No, that one looks pretty... That's cool. I've never seen a white one before.
She has a little bit of brown right here, and that's it.
Yeah. And then the other one's black, kind of a black and brown.
Uh-huh. And then Sophie's tan.
I want to get one of those apple-faced ones. You know, the little...
Yeah.
I mean, Blue sort of looks like that, but I don't think he is.
This is the apple-headed Chihuahua.
Oh, yeah, right, with a short snout. Yeah, a little shorter.
And then the other two are deer Chihuahuas.
Yeah, I think Blue
They're all
I don't know what he is. What did you think when you... He looks like he's in between or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Could be. They're all rescues. I got them all from the shelter.
Oh, wow. Maybe I should do that instead of paying $800.
Yeah. I do know a breeder who breeds them, and she's pretty good about everything. But yeah, they all came from rescue.
Yes, everybody. I recommend a Chihuahua. I know that sounds crazy. But the way it worked for me was, I've told this before, but maybe there's some new people, was that I used to have Pomeranians, believe it or not, because I lived in a small place and I just thought they were really cute. But then I didn't have any dogs. They all died of, old age or whatever. And, well, old age. One died because he ate a bunch of grease.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and he got like some weird, what do you call it, pancreatitis, and it sucked, actually. That was not good. And then the other one died getting its teeth cleaned, and the other one died when it was 17 years old. But anyways, we were dogless, and then one of my wife's and co-workers said, "Hey, listen, we got to get rid of this dog. We just never home for it." And then my wife came home and said, "Okay, Gray, do you want to see if we like this Chihuahua?" And I went, "Oh, Jesus." I said, okay, bring it here. I'll check it out. And then the first night, I was like, yep. And I had her call up and say, we'll take it. Because, man, he just jumped in my lap, and how they snuggle up to you and press into you, kind of like lean in. It's wild. So, I know that people don't necessarily like them, but I'm telling you,
they're good dogs.
They're incredible.
They really are. We always. I have another dog. She's outside. She's a 15-year-old lab, and she's just really getting old. But we always had big dogs, and I went over to where the orchid was being fostered, and she crawled up the back of my shirt, and I was just like, okay, I'm taking her home with me now.
Yeah.
So yeah, she chose to come home with me, and that was the beginning of the end for me. We have a Chihuahua army starting.
No, that's awesome. I mean, the way they are right there, that's how they are all the time. Like, you can literally have them be that way, and then if you want to play, they're just, boom, they're all over the place.
They like to play. Sophie's my fetch. She likes to fetch.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of good having people on, actually.
Yeah.
So that worked, just putting the link right there. Boom, 2 people showed up.
Yeah, I just thought I'd try it. I never tried it before. I didn't even know I had the app.
Yeah, you've got courage. Maybe you should... Yeah, Strawberry Rain over there, I always say, you should come on. She doesn't ever do it. Look at that right there. See that right there, everybody? What that dog's doing? That's what Blue did. Just leaned right in and said, please, you guys can love me, can't you? And I was like, oh, yeah. Of course. Let's see. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think I ran out of topics for now.
All right. Yeah.
But you should come on another time when we're doing a case. If you want to. I'll just put the link out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just doing the random
anytime.
conversation. So you have a computer or a laptop? That's so much better.
Yeah, a laptop.
Yeah.
Laptop.
Okay. Yeah, it's so much better doing that, I think.
It's easier. I have tablets and phones and stuff, but
yeah.
Just sitting here. I have a little table by my. Oh hush! I have a little table by my couch here.
All right. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it probably helps to have someone kind of reading your chat over for you. That's kind of what Doreen how do you say?
No, okay,
Diane.
No, hold on.
We'll go Diane.
It's
was kind of doing the other
Darlene,
day.
Diane. She got all kinds of AKAs on that one.
Yeah, AKA.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Was doing the other day while she was on. She was kind of reading the chat. I think that helps a little bit because she kind of scanned through and read what's pertinent to what's going on in the video.
Right. Sometimes it's hard to find that pertinent comment, especially when LJ is busting out all those irrelevant comments. You see that? I'm the new strawberry, he said. Ray, I got a topic. It's you. Dopey dogs, he said. The Hindi. I mean, he's sort of funny, but it's like, come on, dude. Do you ever say something?
I kind of have a pretty good handle on paying attention to more than one thing at a time, but I can get a little lost sometimes.
Yeah. The thing is I had people complaining that I wasn't reading the chat. So then I start reading the chat. Then I get frustrated. And then it's like, I don't even know where to go now, man. I should be like a horse with blinders on, just look straight at the screen. Do not veer to the left, something like that. But yeah, it's 12:43, so I think I'm done now. And
that's
crazy.
Means it's 2:43 here.
That means I've been on here for 3 hours and some odd minutes for sure. No doubt about it. As a matter of fact.
All right. Well, it was very cool. I'm gonna hang up.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Let's do it again.
Bye.
All right. See ya. All right. Bye. Right there. Yeah, everybody, that was fun. And I appreciate everybody coming on tonight. Talked about 1,000 different topics. Definitely going to do that case. She sold it to me. At first it just seemed like, oh man, maybe a suicide, but as we got going, doesn't seem like that at all, actually. You see what I'm saying? So if you guys look some of that stuff up and you find something that's interesting, send it to my email, but I'm going to use her emails that she sent and take a look at it. Alright? Yeah, well, just based on the original thing, it seemed like that, but after she explained it, it doesn't sound like it at all. So, what's so funny, Strawberry? I didn't know I made a joke right there. Sayonara, done. So what was our highest viewer count tonight? I wasn't even paying attention. Did we ever have more than 10? Or 40? Did you give me another $2, LJ? He did. Oh my God. I'm not sure. Is this the heading underneath you when you say racist? I can't tell. Well, thanks, LJ, for another $2. Or I really should say thanks for 80 cents. I know that's what I'm worth to you, but thanks. That's right. So if LJ comes on, man, that super chat's going to go way up. Can't wait. Yeah, 63. Yeah. If I'd stayed on earlier, I might have had more of it. It was all right. Anyways, everybody, I appreciate you coming on. And I'm going to go to sleep now. Maybe I'll watch one episode of 13 Reasons Why. I don't know why I like that show, but it's interesting to me. And rest in peace, Bourdain. Good luck to Krauthammer. Or Krauthammer, I guess is how you actually say it. I always said Krautheimer, but it's probably Hammer. And let's start getting some of these cases worked out. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, look at that. Hey, thanks, Bridget. I appreciate it. Very kind. Hey, LJ, can you beat that one? I'm just joking. Yeah. Anyways, I keep saying anyways. I keep saying goodbye. You know when you're on the phone with a girlfriend and you keep talking and one says goodbye, but you never really can quite get off? That's sort of what it feels like on here sometimes. Yeah, it's freaks. We're not Greeks, okay? I don't know. I'm not Greek anyways, are you? I bet you meant freaks, though. All right, everybody. It's been fun. I appreciate you hanging out. And until next time, fill in the blank. Be safe out there.